us. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Sister, and let us Karaku and P.T. Martinique together. Come, let's build, not tear down. Come, let's transform this place that we call home. This is our place, and we have a duty to work toward making it better. Better for not just you and I, but for the next generation and the next generation. I want to welcome you to the Hub. Again, another opportunity that you and I have to talk, to converse, using radio and social media to connect. I want to start off tonight by encouraging you, the viewers on Facebook and YouTube, to please share the live. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. I want to say this. The NNP believes that they are smarter than everybody else outside here. So they're using all kind of strategies, all kind of techniques to tomfool people, to confuse people, to trick people into believing that they were doing things the right way. Listen to Clarice Modeste as she spoke on the issue of the debushing program. And one will recall
the debushing that had been, it had been criticized heavily. And some recommendations were even being made. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? But 2 years on in government, I don't see them taking their own recommendations. So it is the debushing. But what bothers me more is that it is being used as a political weapon against people. So that they tell you, if you go in NNP, any event, or if you follow NNP, you will not be able to. Debushing, one of the lowest paid jobs in Grenada.
Those are factual statements?
Yeah.
If you would not go to someone
else. Yes, they will not go. And when they go to ask for a debushing, one, there is an official Ministry of Works sub-office in Victoria, but it is hardly used. It is one of the activists that people have to go to make for a job, which I find is so demeaning and humiliating, to have people have to go to someone when they are designated persons who work with the Ministry of Infrastructure, or works as we call it, who assist in the selection and and the deployment of those workers. So that is all I see.
Right, so that's Clarice Modeste. But people with sense, and if you a bit old enough to remember when NDC was in power in 2008, NDC had outreach offices set up with government workers from the Ministry of Works and so on. And you can go into that office, give your name, and they would consider you for a road walk. But here it is. When the NNP came into power, they removed the outreach offices. They closed down all the outreach offices, because the outreach office was there for road work, for a little road construction, drain construction, any issue you may have, you can walk in there. They don't want to know whether you NNP or NDC, and you put down your name, they take your complaint, they take the information and they follow up. When the NNP came into power, they closed down the offices. But today, this woman is talking about the debushing program and some activists they have to go to. During the NNP time, I can tell you, you had to deal with some of the NNP activists to get the roadwork. You had to go through them. I know of one in my community, may her soul rest in peace, Stella Lashington. You had to go through her. She would call in the night and tell the people who get in a contract, they get in a contract, and the names of the people to take. And that is why they would go to all the NNP political meetings and so on during that time. And I spoke about that this morning, you know. This morning I spoke about that. She went on the GBN to the point program and she made those statements. She spoke about if they go to a meeting, you know, and they get to know NNP meeting and they get to know you might be, you know, hello, they playing games. The NNP playing games because they did worse than that when they were in power, far worse than that when they were in power. And the people who are old enough, who experience the NNP for 13 years and a half, and then the NDC came into power, you must remember how they used to function with the road work. Nearly all the contractors used to be NNP supporters. Now you have it mixed. You have NNP supporters getting contract, you know, and NNP supporters getting the road work, dominating the road work. That is what they used to do. But I am saying she would go on a program and speak in such a way, making people believe that under the NNP, it was a different thing and they were doing it through an office and you could have gone in there, put your name and you would get a work. Under the NNP, it was really politicized. It was politicized. I cannot even recall if any NDC supporter got a contract under NNP time. I just can't recall. The majority of people who would get the contract would be NNP supporters. And the work, same thing. And it was NNP activists calling people and tell them who get contract and who walk in where and who walk in where. That is how they used to function. It was the same thing with the seed program. NNP activists and so on were responsible for that. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. All the social safety net programs, the geriatric caregivers program, the Imani training program, the housing repair program, all the social safety net programs, the people who are responsible for it within those different constituencies were NNP activists, and they had a stronghold on it. So when Clarice Modest goes on a program and talk this nonsense, one wonders, what's she trying to prove? What's the point she's trying to make?
The bushing that had been, you know, it had been criticized heavily. And some recommendations were even being made. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? But 2 years on in government, I don't see them taking their own recommendations. So it is the debushing. But what bothers me more is that it is being used as a political weapon against people. So that they tell you, if you go in NNP, any event, or if you follow NNP, you will not be able to. Debushing, you know, one of the lowest paid jobs
those
in
are
Grenada.
factual statements?
Yeah.
If you would not go to someone...
Well, Yes, they will not go. And when they go to ask for a debushing, one, there is an official Ministry of Works sub-office in Victoria, but it is hardly used. It is one of the activists that people have to go to make for a job, which I find is so demeaning and humiliating, to have people have to go to someone when they are designated persons who work with the Ministry of Infrastructure, or Works as we call it, who assist in the selection and and the deployment of those workers. So
Yes. So she playing smart. That is exactly what she's doing. Playing some smart person now, because she wants more NNP to get roadwork, to get the contract, and all the other things. That is what she wants. And the NNP wants that. That is why I spoke this morning. Because you see, for me, I have intel. I get the kind of info from the different camps. So when I speak, sometimes I speak even before them. Right? And I am saying what they want is for the NDC to play nice. What they want is for the NDC to give their people nearly all the work and all the contract for the debushing program. That is what they want. Because that is how they kept their people. That is how their people were supporting them and going to all the meetings and going to all the activities and everything like that for years. Because they get in a contract, they get in a debushing work 2 fortnights, 3 fortnights, and so on. They were eating a food. They would get materials from the housing repair program. They're going to put them under the seed program and all these different programs. So they were benefiting. Because remember, for some of them, I did a program in the past outlining the amount of money some of these NNP supporters were collecting. They were collecting a seed payment for the grandmother, them, the mother, and the 3 children. So in one house, they were collecting $3,000 and $4,000. In one house, I'm telling you, $2,000 something, $1,000 something. And if you check for an entire family, sometimes it's $3,000, $4,000 from all these different social safety net programs. And that kept them because the money was going directly to them. I tell you, these social safety net programs, when you calculate it in total, it's about $100 million. This is no liquor money. So you have to get a grip of it, and you have to put your people in position to take care of our people. That is what the NNP did for years, and they remain in power for 20-something years. So you shouldn't come now and just quickly try to change it. Because what would happen? You would disenfranchise our supporters. In fact, today, I received more than 80 messages from supporters, near and wide, far and near and far, right? Who said to me, Cam Jones, boy, listen to the program and you couldn't have said it better. You couldn't have said it better. We need to change the criteria for some of those programs, right? So that our people will benefit. Because the NNP make their people poor and vulnerable so that they can capitalize on these social safety net programs. They're the ones who are benefiting from these social safety net programs. Clarice Moder spoke about back to school and all different things of that sort. She knows what she's referring to, the back to school voucher. You think she's stupid? She knows everything has to be confrontation and million bacchanal for the NNP. Because why? It is their people. Their people, they're the ones who have been benefiting from these social safety net programs for all the many, many years. So the voucher, the back to school voucher program that coming up, right? So they want to start to make bacchanal. The roadwork, they started to make bacchanal. But once they see their people getting work, they have no problem. They just want their people to get the work. Because these social safety net programs were designed in such a way to make their people benefit, to make their people get everything, to capitalize on it totally. And that's the reality. And that is why I say we have to understand their strategy. Their strategy is to get their supporters to benefit from all the social safety net programs. But remember, in total, it's about $100 million worth of social safety net programs. So they're living good. They're enjoying it all because it was designed just for the NNP supporters. So you have, if you have to get it, you need to have a pit latrine. That is why a lot of those NNP supporters, they have pit latrine. They don't even want an indoor bathroom and toilet facility, you know. They rather stay in the pit latrine to collect the poor relief assistance and the other social safety net program money and so on. They prefer that. So they dominated those programs and they're still dominating it. That is what they've been doing. So Clarice Muna's going on that program and talk about the Bushin program and activists handing it out and all this. The NNP shut down the outreach offices that were in every constituency where you could have just walk and give your name to get a little walk. They shut it down because they want full control over it because they know that is where the power lies. That is how you control people. That is how you get people to support you. That is how you get loyalty. When they have to come to a constituency office or some kind of supporter, they have to go to them to get these kind of things. Because when the election time comes around, there's the same supporter who's going and knock their door and say, come and vote for this one and vote for that one. That's how they've been doing it. That is how they've been doing it. But you know, tonight is a shortened version of the program. We can have something very pressing thereafter. But I want to feature another piece from Clarice Modeste, the electoral list.
So being out. Are you happy with what you've seen thus far, or are there other concerns that their concern is relations to that?
I'll just speak briefly on the major concern, and our major concern with the electoral list, which has been released recently, is that we are seeing some names that are not, quite a number of names that are not Grenadian names. You know what I mean? So, for example,
You say not Grenadian names.
traditional Grenadian. So we know the Louis and the Johns and that sort of thing. But you know some kind of names that sound very like surnames and first names too sound very foreign. You might say that name that sound like a German name, or that sound like
And
a
you refer to that within your particular constituency?
within the electoral list nationally.
Yes.
Yes. So we are concerned. Where do they and some you have to say what your occupation is.
Yeah.
Some kind of occupations that we don't even have normally in Grenada. So this is a bother to us. Is it a padding of the electoral list, bringing in persons who are not eligible to vote and bringing them in to pad it up? And especially you see it very high in certain constituencies. So this is something that we are going to be watching, we're going to be looking at very closely and asking questions. We have a new what do you call it? I've got director for
elections,
for election, and it is in recent times. I don't know how well he's settling down, because there was a hasty change.
But would that information be brought to his attention as relations to that? Is it, how would the opposition be dealing with it?
Well, previously, opposition had a team who would meet with the person in charge, and I don't think, I haven't heard them say that they've met with them, but that team usually meets. I know they met with the previous one, and then there were a series of meetings scheduled for each.
So Clarice is playing games. They know that a lot of Grenadians are registering to vote. But she knows that there are Grenadians who are married to people from other countries around the world. And they are entitled to a Grenadian passport, and they are entitled to be registered in Grenada because of marriage. So these people think that they could fool some people. They are Grenadians who are born to a Grenadian parent and a foreign person. And their name, because of marriage, may change. You think they know what they're doing? They realize that a lot of people are registering. That is what they realize. And they're scared because a lot of Grenadians are registering to vote. And that is why they're concerned about some constituencies where the numbers are pretty high. That is why I want to encourage you to continue registering. And for Carnival, you're coming back to Grenada, continue registering. If you have not yet registered, please register to vote in the upcoming election. Don't worry the NNP and them with their nonsense. As long as you are a Grenadian citizen, you can register. If you're from the Commonwealth, then you would have to be here before registration 12 months before. But once you are a Grenadian citizen, you can go straight away and register with your Grenadian birth certificate or Grenadian passport. No one could stop you. But that's the trick they're playing. They know what they're doing. Don't think they know what they're doing. They know well what they're doing. I want to warn the government about what the NNP is doing in Karaku, because she said it.
Added another dimension to it. They had used a team of volunteers before. I don't remember the name of the group now, but they reorganized, and so now they're starting the cleanup here and there, because they are concerned that they're not seeing things happening on roofs, things happening in homes, because there are some...
what's the primary focus of that particular team that is...
So what they're going to be doing, they're going to be clearing certain places.
Yes.
They're going to, if they can, seek materials. So because some repairs, some work to be done, some damages are minor and need minor repairs, and others are extensive where the government has to play an even bigger role.
Yeah.
So, and some people may have purchased materials but don't have the means to replace it or to repair. So that is what they're going to be doing. And as they said to me, they want to be careful not to take over government work, because government has the funds and government's supposed to have the ministry, has the technical, wherewithal to do. What they need to do is to use it. Yes. So they have to be careful how they do it, but they just want to do something at this.
So the government has to be very, very careful, right? Very, very. This move by the NNP, the government has to be very. What is going on with this mic? All right. But the government has to be very, very, very careful, because you want to build back better than before. These people who she's talking about, they don't have the expertise, they don't have the training to go ahead and build back better. So they're going about trying to build back this and build back that. They may cause more problems than we actually have. So I am saying to the government, yes, something is wrong with this mic. I don't know. It seems as though it gets loud at times and then it drops. I don't know what is happening with it. But I'm saying that the government needs to be very, very careful. They have to put something in place to control all of these things, because it's getting out of hand. NNP is now saying that they would have a brigade or people up there building roofs, whatever she used, words to that effect, and they want to be careful not to be assuming government work or job or whatever she said there. What's to that effect? I am saying it is very clear that these people want to cause chaos with Karaku, because they want the seat. That is what they want. They want the seat. Same thing they're doing in St. Patrick, East and West. They want the seats. So they deepen themselves in the whole aspect of it. Today, you see Emlyn Pay posting all kind of stuff that they bring up, potable toilets and whatever they say they're cooking with some old pilau in a pot. And she sit down somewhere talking about the slow pace of recovery and all kind of nonsense. These people don't understand what they're saying, but they don't care. They don't care. And the government has to be very, very careful. And they have to put a leash, control these people. They got to control them. Don't make them go to Karaku and believe they could do what they want. If you have to chase them out, arrest them if you have to arrest them. Because they have to be trained and so on to do these things. Right? She spoke about the recovery. Boy, look, folks, we have to be very careful with these people.
My recovery plea is very strong here. We have received, a lot of support. Diaspora in abroad has sent, especially in the US, they've always done that, individuals and organizations. And I want to compliment the Samaritan's Purse. I think they were the first people on the ground. As a matter of fact, one of the members told me that from Tuesday, they had mobilized to come. I think they came in Tuesday or Wednesday. And all the way where you pass in Karaku and other places on the mainland, you see the blue flag. I call it the blue flag on the roofs. That is the tarpaulin material.
Yes.
All over. That is their mark. Okay. They have a hospital in Karaku and that they're managing, and they have a desalination plant that provides water.
Okay.
However, recovery has to kick in and kick in quick because the time here is limited. I heard 2 weeks,
and
but not
as much as
officially.
they can do.
They're doing as much as they could. And when I spoke to the leader, he said, look, he'd been there, other countries. And so before you know it, there's a situation somewhere where they have to go. Yeah. So government must tell us how Karaku and Pitimatic is going to get water. Because
so this woman, I mean, it's a whole pile of lies, a whole pile of, false information she's disseminating. She doesn't care, right? She doesn't care. The Samaritan Post interview, there was an interview, the guy, they said they're not in any hurry to go anywhere, right? There are Guyanese building back better in Karaku. There are other nations who are helping. You see, this woman, she's intentionally wicked in my view. And she knows what she's doing. Don't fool yourself. Recovery takes time. They don't know that. You have relief as the first phase to bring relief to the people. Then you have to rebuild. And then you can talk about recovery. You have to build back better because recovery encompasses a lot of things. So they're just opening them out and talk. They don't know what they're talking about. But I'll explain further in the morning, right? I have my 2 daughters here, and I have to kind of throw an eye on them tonight. All right? So just saying, you have to bear with me. Bear with me. I just had to do the short version of the program for tonight because, it's so important sometimes when you have to do what you got to do for your family. All right? So just saying again, I have to wrap it up at this point in time. I want to wish you all the best. Take good care. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We're going to dive deeper into this tomorrow, God's willing. All right? But I have to throw an eye on my children. They slept during the day and they're up and about, giving some trouble. So I have to focus on them a bit tonight. All right? Because I'm the only one here looking after them tonight for now, early part. Good? So, folks, I want to wish you all the best. Take good